Let's begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Podcast76. I'm Ruskeydoo.
And I'm in the jungle, or at least it sounds kind of like I'm in a jungly forest sort of a thing.
Right, so with the amount of bird life that's clearly near your microphone, I don't think anyone's actually going to believe it. I think it's overdubbed. Like the waterfall you can hear crashing behind me.
I love it. Yeah, so I'm Grey, and it's warm. It's really warm, which is really pleasant. But it does mean that I need to have the windows open, which means these birds, which just love to sing, are just coming through very clearly.
I think it's actually quite pleasant.
Oh no, it's really nice. It's really nice.
It's, very ambient.
A lot of ambience, yeah.
It's like those videos you get of waves crashing on a shore that just are hours of that, or a log fire crackling, or birds singing in the trees.
Yep, that's what it is.
Yeah, I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to say like less.
Oh,
yeah, I know, right?
Oh, it's a tricky one.
Sorting out language tics is really hard.
Oh, I've given up on a lot of mine.
It just irritates me so much when I listen to the you see. When I listen to the playbacks of our show, and I'm just that's a like, there's a goddamn like, yeah,
like totally.
Like I know it's so Californian, and it just I'd rather just say nothing for a moment. And people can think I'm just a bit slow than me filling that air with like.
It's okay. I already think you're a bit slow. Let's go over what we're going to be going over today.
Well, first up, there's been an update. There is a new map, Lunar Horizons. The 4chan leaker has been on the money again. The hammer bug is not intentional, and Jeff is lively on the forums.
Jeff lively on the forums just makes me think of like a really enthusiastic dog. I don't know why.
That's kind of how I imagine Jeff to a large extent.
Yes,
one that can program and, cover game balance and stuff.
Okay.
They feed him treats every time he releases an update.
Good point.
I'm sure they don't. I don't even know what I'm saying. So the PTR, well, the map's been released, but that's the next thing. So the big thing apart from the maps is the hero updates.
Yes.
And they're really going for it.
These are quite interesting changes. So the first one is McCree's Deadeye. Targets begin locking on after 0.2 seconds instead of 0.8 seconds. Now, the way that I've read this and the way that it seems to work is when you say it's high noon, there is what's known as a cast time, and during that time, so from the time you press the button to the time that the first target can lock on was 0.8 seconds, and they've shortened that dramatically to 0.2 seconds to give Deadeye significantly more kill potential. They've also increased the damage accumulated over the first second from 20 to 80 damage per second. But the damage per second after the first second is unchanged. So that means you ramp up faster and the damage starts earlier. So really strong buff,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I assume they're trying to make him compete with Soldier again.
Yes.
I don't have a good feel for the numbers because I don't play much McCree, but having played a few games with this, people die awful fast. Yes,
I think what this is going to be really useful for, and maybe it's going to be one of those things of, do you remember when the Diva ult was buffed? And you just got to react faster.
Yeah.
And think about your positioning better.
I'm not sure people can react fast enough.
No, I imagine that what it'll end up being is one of those things of you need to position yourself better when you're thinking about the McCree ult.
Yeah, but I'm not sure this isn't just going to be crazy.
Maybe.
Okay, for instance, playing a game on Moonbase earlier today, I'm not sure he finished saying it's high noon before he only went for a Zenyatta, but that Zenyatta popped up in the kill feed. And Zen's pretty squishy, so sure. But
how much health did the Zen have before the ult started?
I have no idea, but
it'll take some working around. But it's interesting as a buff because it was one of the weaker ones.
Here's the thing, though, McCree, he wasn't. I mean, maybe they've got stats that show he was crazy underperforming, but he didn't seem that bad.
I imagine that it wasn't he was underperforming overall. However, I imagine his ult was underperforming when you compared it to things like Soldier 76, which often would get a kill or two, like almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
And then, Genji's ult, you usually get a kill or two. And Pharah's ult, you usually get a kill or two. And then there's McCree going, it's high noon.
Yeah, it was
can't
just
see
area
anyone.
control in the past. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to see how this one pans out.
Absolutely. But I think it's good that they're messing with it and kind of seeing where they can find that balance.
Yeah, because it was the most useless ult, let's be real.
It was pretty useless.
Well, in fact, was there a more useless ult?
You know what? Let's not do this on air. Let's just move on.
We can think about that later. Okay, Reaper.
Yes.
They removed his health orbs, and only gets 20% of all damage done to heroes as health.
Now, it's very difficult to evaluate this because it currently seems to be bugged. I'm not getting as much health, because theoretically you can do something like 250 damage in if you get a perfect headshot.
Wait, how much did the health orbs give you?
50 health.
So the equivalent is you need to deal 50 times 5, 250 health to get the equivalent of a health orb.
Yes. So worse against squishies.
So it's actually his positioning him more towards being a tank hunter.
Absolutely. And it gives him like some real survivability in the middle of a fight.
Yeah, if you were like in on a hog just pumping him full of buckshot, then that's pretty
really strong. But where I've really noticed a difference is what you could do is if you got into trouble, you'd Wraith form and you'd go collect a few orbs and just buff yourself up a little bit of health. And that loss of that passive, you don't have that option, so you really do have to escape. And I thought that this was going to be Year of the Reaper with this. Right. I really did. And I'm actually going, I preferred it the other way.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, maybe I've got to play it like more, but I was finding myself going, this is not kicking it. Because if you've got a healer, the healer's heals are actually a little bit more significant, and getting those 50 health orbs is actually really nice.
Oh, so you mean you keep yourself healed via the healer, and having that pool of health just knocking about is actually
it's actually better, because it means that like mid-fight when... so early fight, what happens is you get the heals. Then mid-fight, when if you have to wraith form, you can just go collect a few orbs, and the healers can concentrate on someone else.
One thing I would say is that I think this feels a lot more elegant. The health orbs felt like a really kind of janky mechanic.
It didn't to me.
It just seemed really out of character for the game, I see
what you mean. Like at some point you have to just wander around and eat pills to get your one-ups and
very Pac-Man-y, right?
Yeah, it was kind of bizarre, but at the same time,
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. I just think this one's a lot more elegant.
It's yes.
I don't
in terms
know why
of a solution,
vampiric shotguns makes more sense to me, but on some level it does.
I will feed on your soul.
Yep, sure, why not?
It makes sense either way.
Reaper? We don't know. They're never going to explain it.
Exactly. Who gives the crap? He has a bunch of game mechanics which do not make any sense in real life.
So Roadhog. Now this one, I would compare to Reaper in the way that I think I need a lot more time to assess this. Okay, so let's talk about what it is. Head hitbox size reduced by 20%. I don't know if that's volume or length. I presume length. But here's the big one. Scrap gun. Bullet damage decreased by 33%. Fire rate increased by 30%. And clip size increased from 4 to 5.
These changes are crazy. Absolutely crazy. At first I was like, oh my goodness, I might become a Roadhog main. Because you go in game and you're just like, boom, boom, boom. My goodness, it's almost like Reaper's gun.
Fast. Yeah.
It feels very fast. But after playing with it a little bit, I really don't like this. It feels really unsatisfying. Yeah.
I had the kind of complete counter experience.
Really?
I felt like I had to reassess the entirety of how I play Roadhog.
Yes.
But when I got used to having the clip of 5 and firing a bit faster, I found myself having a hell of a lot of fun.
Really? That's interesting. I mean, I can totally see how having that faster fire rate means that you can just be a bit more active and participatory in a fight. But what I ended up feeling like is that the hook was actually kind of a liability.
How so?
Because a lot of the time when I was in close with people, I just wanted to be firing at them. And throwing out the hook just felt... It made it into a bit more of a...
you still get the stun on it. If you hit your hooks, then it's amazing.
Okay. I was feeling like, you know what? I want to be using my hook a lot less, and I'm just shooting more.
Well, I mean, you want to be using your hook less in the fact that previously Hog is just the hook. That's it. And I think making him a bit less extreme in that sense possibly isn't a bad thing. I suspect the real proof in the pudding is going to be how he works out in competitive, how he works out in quick play. And I don't think we know well enough yet.
No, absolutely not.
But I think changing him from this close to mid-range assassin, like one-shot character, I don't think that's bad. It means there's a little more interaction until, you know, hook or not hook and you're dead.
Yes. Now, it is worth going over some of the differences in terms of who can be one-shot and who cannot be one-shot. And it's kind of interesting because hitbox sizes really make a difference now. So, for example, McCree and Farah and... is it Torbjorn? No. McCree, Farah and Zenyatta, all 200 health heroes, and they can all still be one hit. But Genji, you can no longer one-shot.
Oh, because enough buckshot doesn't hit him. Is this including with the like melee attack that you're going to get on the end of it too?
I'm not sure. It's one hit. Hero can be one hit after getting hooked, meleeed most, if not all of the time. Inconsistent, hero can be one hit after getting hooked and meleeed some of the time. Not possible. Hero cannot be one hit.
So it is including the melee.
Yeah, this is including the melee. But there's a lot of... So other heroes who move from possible to not possible. Reaper, Sombra, Hanzo, Junkrat, then Anna, Lucio, Mercy, and Symmetra. So what's really interesting here is how many of the support heroes move from being one-shot heroes to not one-shot heroes. It's really significant.
Yeah. So I like the direction this is going in. I think one thing I heard someone saying was that they need to revert the 6 seconds, the 8 seconds cooldown on the hook to 6 seconds again, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Because if the hook isn't a killer, then being able to throw it out a little more often seems sensible to me.
We'll have to see. But yeah.
I like the direction. I think a lot of people are having a very knee-jerky reaction because it is a very significant change. I think it's a more significant change than any of the other changes on the other characters, right?
Absolutely.
But I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, playing with it, I'm not sure if I was less or more effective, but I had a lot of fun. Previously Hog has felt very much like pop out, do your thing, then just chill for a second while you reload. Pop out, do your thing. He felt like you were doing stuff a lot more of the time.
I do think that's definitely a good feeling. My concern is it may make him a bit more generic. Because he does move a lot. It definitely
does pull him more towards generic character. Although, due to how his bullets work... Like, it's very different. Like, the shotgun blast and the mid-range shotgun blast. They are significantly different to how, like, say, Soldier works or whatever. Most generic character I can think of.
Fair enough. Okay.
Also, with the headbox size reduced, he's actually been given a good bit of, more lastability to him, right?
I did notice that hitting that headbox as Reaper was a bit more difficult, and it was making a difference to how quickly he was dying. I'm going to have to reassess how I shoot Roadhog. Because yes. I'm used to just shooting in this general direction and getting a couple of headshots. Very different. Yep.
Other stuff, they've now changed damage done to hero damage done and barrier damage done, which is good.
We were talking about this last week, weren't we? Oh, we were talking about this in the Discord during a game, how they were measuring certain stats. Damage
just being all damage is very silly because
it's not a clever way to do it because it doesn't really tell you how you contributed.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, but there's a ton of other bug fixes, but they're not that interesting. So
actually, I'll tell you what will be really interesting. Assuming all of this goes into the API, because damage done is going to be broken down now, it'll be interesting to see the damage stats change between flankers and non-flankers. Because Soldier 76 would generally have a much higher damage
Shield damage.
Because of the shield damage. So I'm going to be interested to see how that changes.
How the actual breakdown goes. No, I'll give you that. So another thing that was kind of in the PTR was the new map, Lunar Horizons.
There was one other little thing that I wanted to mention before we move on.
Okay.
It's a tiny little thing. They've made a few interface changes. There's the screen where you choose whether to choose a voice channel.
Yeah.
And you can see a list of the players on 2 teams. On the PTR now, if you hover over people's names, it'll give you their current rank. And something else that they're implementing is that in competitive, it will give you a rundown of their most played heroes.
Oh, that's good.
Which is very, very good.
So maybe they are channeling people towards maining a few heroes.
Well, I think certainly showing what people are good at and play the most, and giving people the kind of that option of, oh, I see we've got 3 people who are main healers, I will play my tank rather than pick my healer up.
It makes it a lot quicker and
absolutely. I think it's a great choice. I think it's really good.
Sense.
Yep. Cool. Lunar Horizons. Go.
Yes. New map. Oh, it's hard to learn. Was it this difficult to learn new maps on previous new maps?
I felt like Oasis felt very weird to play, but I learned it quite quickly.
Yeah.
Eichenwald is very linear, so learning it was really quite easy.
This one to me I felt really lost in it.
Absolutely. It took me, I still wander around and just go, now where does this stairwell go?
Yeah, I think it's also because a lot of it looks very similar.
I'm wondering if it's just one of those things of there's the signposting is just not as good. And I think usually what you do is you denote certain doorways are better to walk through than others. So you show this one's probably the flank that you don't use as much as this doorway, because the second doorway's brightly lit and you can see through it and it's a very clear view, and then you've got the little doorway which is darker, and so you go, okay, that's the main route. Whereas this one, I'm kind of going, okay, the stairwells all kind of look the same, the lighting's kind of similar throughout, the colorings on the doorways are with the exception of the hydroponics room, which is kind of green, there's not loads to separate out the different areas. The visual stimulus to just kind of go where I'm going next is not very good. I kind of want I just want arrows on the floor. I
suspect, they could have that on a lunar base, right? It wouldn't be that difficult.
Absolutely.
I suspect once I've played on it a couple more times, it won't be an issue at all. But excuse me, just as that initial thing, it was very
I got lost trying to take a photo for Podcast 76.
Really?
Yes.
Good work.
I spent absolutely ages, and I went through the same stairwell, I think, 2 or 3 times. just kind of, okay, and where does this... I'm here again. Okay, cool.
How did I get here again?
Hey, wait, no, I'm here again.
Yeah. I would say, though, that generally the aesthetic on these maps is really beautiful.
I'll tell you what I do love. 2 things that I do love. In the spawn room for the attackers, one, there is a telescope. You can walk up to it with every hero, look through the telescope, and they will have their own voice line. I do not understand Genji's.
Know that. What does Genji say?
I will never look at Schemy the same way again.
I
have no idea what Schemy is.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe it's Japanese for Earth.
Maybe.
One thing that really stuck in my mind on this map was that the climbing gorilla play area is the first capture point.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, why is a jungle gym so important? There's literally tires hanging up in there.
Yes.
And some climbing stuff on the walls.
I will tell you why. I will tell you exactly why.
Okay.
Because right next to the jungle gym happens to be where they keep all the spacesuits.
Oh, right.
So if you go...
because that is near to the airlock, isn't it?
Yes, it is right by the airlock. If you go into spectator mode, you can actually go through the doors right by the jungle gym, and you will see Professor Winston's suit is missing.
Right. Oh, can you not normally get in there?
No, you cannot.
Oh, I see.
Maybe it opens up as a spawn room or something, and I've not noticed, but
maybe.
Certainly in spectator mode you can get in there.
The going outside into space bit was nice.
That was, I really love what they did with the sound. That was really cool. Like the way it goes on muted.
Anything. It was very good. Although here's one thing I did notice, that when you're attacking the last point, the way onto the upstairs area is in the top right. And I just thought to myself, Hanamura much? Why couldn't we have just had the upstairsy bit on the left? It would have made it feel massively less Hanamura-esque to me.
Yes, I'm not enjoying that second point.
Yeah, it seems a bit...
But then again, this might just be the way with a lot of 2CP, where at first it has a serious defender advantage because it's easier to... know it that well.
Oh, I tell you one thing I've been hating about that second point. All those rafters...
Yes.
They let Widowmaker get every angle she wants. It's horrible.
Yeah, Reaper can also get up there and do some disgusting things.
Yeah. It seems a little... If that was restricted in some way, that would seem maybe sensible. I don't know.
I assume they're going to get blocked off. I just don't think it's going to be fun in the long term if they leave those rafters open. But it's going to feel weird if it looks like you can get there and then you can't. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's a preview vid and there's a dev vid talking about the maps, which you can check out. They say the usual preview vid and dev vid stuff.
Yep. Very nice. Very nice.
Have you tried the playing on all the other maps with low gravity?
Yes.
Wasn't it a thing?
It was definitely a thing. I'm glad they added it.
Yes.
Because shits and giggles.
Yes.
But you realise very quickly how useless some heroes are.
Yeah.
Like Symmetra, literally just floating around uselessly.
And how horrendous some other heroes are. Such as Widowmaker. Because people arcing gracefully across the sky in slow, predictable arcs. Yeah, they get headshot a lot.
Yeah, they do. A lot,
Yeah. That's the thing.
That is the thing. Yeah, but I'm glad they added it because it's a bit of fun, and I'm sure at some stage someone will make some crazy custom game mode that will be a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, I still want the Rhine cart with, launching around a track. And if you had low G, you could go on like super big jumps and such.
That would be quite cool.
Yes. Thing is with Reinhardt, he doesn't really keep his upward momentum when he launches off something. He just starts falling at the regular pace no matter what the angle of the thing he launches off is. Very sad.
Very sad. Okay. Yeah, I think that's that about sums it up.
So, next thing. The 4chan leaker has been, leaking again.
Yes. Now, there have been some arguments against this. Some people have said, well, it's kind of easy to get the whole Lunar Horizon map, but they get a lot of it right with the whole outside area having, not outside area, but having an area which is low grav. It's being a 2CP map rather than a payload map or something else that it would feature an airlock.
Well, they do say there are a few small areas where gravity is reduced, and there's really only one, right?
That's true. That's true. Like, you can pick it apart, but at the same time, they get a lot right.
Yeah. And here's the big thing. They haven't got everything... they haven't got anything wrong to a level that disproves it, But then I guess you can always say, well, they changed it or it's still in development, so...
Well, the other thing that gets me is that they say that there's going to be a new hero that's a chimpanzee with cybernetic enhancements. And it's quite obvious from the introduction video that there were other primates on this lunar base.
Well, if you read we didn't talk about the Twitter stuff that kind of predated? No, that predicted? No, that came out a little bit before the PTR update. Preluded, sure, why not? Because they do talk about having a much smaller primate and how they're like lost in the air vents.
Yes.
And you can even see Winston, and I can't remember what his name is, but there's two who've escaped.
Yes. Now, one thing that is worth mentioning is just how bizarre this whole situation is. Apparently, when when Winston needed help, instead of having like some form of audio way of telling people, he wrote an email, which people are well known to respond to very, very quickly, especially when you're in space.
That does feel like a lot of those old school shooters, where the entire plot is, you find people's emails to each other as you go through the deserted complex.
That's true. And they haven't done a good job of making it feel deserted. More so than any other map. When I was wandering around looking for a screenshot for the website, it was kind of creepy.
Yeah?
Yeah, the other ones feel...
You get weird bits of voice line from the computer there, don't you?
I think so, but you also get... What I was just noticing is there were just some classic kind of trapped on a space station Foley going on in the background.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah, so it was just kind of like,
The cross between System Shock and Planet of the Apes. Boom.
System of the Apes. Exactly. So yes, they got a lot right, and if they got everything right, then we've got another hero coming up. Apparently, there'll be a support hero whose abilities will include placing anchor points that connect to form a barrier and placing a stun beacon.
Here's what I'm going to say is going to make or break this: that the new skins will be added to the loot pool, the best of which include astronaut suits. Because if this leaker has seen the astronaut suits, then the astronaut suits are done. And if you put that much effort into getting your, art assets finished, there's no way you're not going to include them.
Absolutely. I wonder who's going to get astronaut suits. I can imagine Soldier 76 getting one very easily.
Yep.
Who else would get one?
Winston. Winston's kind of already got one.
Yeah,
hasn't he?
He's got the diver one.
I think Hog could have an amazing spacesuit.
That's true. Yeah, I'm down with that.
All kind of messed up and such.
Actually, I think Anna's one could be quite nice.
Yeah, I'd get that.
Yeah.
Okay, who couldn't have a spacesuit?
Who couldn't have a spacesuit?
I think Genji would look stupid as hell in a spacesuit.
I agree. He's sort of already in one, so what would you do for him?
Yeah, entirely.
I don't think Tracer would look that great in a spacesuit.
Yeah, I guess it's the lanky, skinny characters that you'd have to have such... I mean, May May's obviously going to have an environmental suit.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And that could be cool as.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, you should check it out. Make up your own mind about it. Yada, yada, yada.
And I guess we'll see.
Okay. Now, for the rest of the show, we've got loads and loads of little bits and bobs. First, the hammer bug, not intentional. So, a lot of people have been complaining about Reinhardt's hammer, saying how the damage only happens at the end of the swing, and it's been kind of broken recently. Bill Warnecki has said it's not intended, so they're going to look into it. I can't say I've noticed it that much, which is weird, right? Because I play a lot of Reinhardt.
Well, I assume that it's because you have such low ping.
Yeah, so it's probably doesn't really hit me as hard, as it were. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so if that is affecting you, you'll be glad to know that that's kind of changing.
Yep, I'm thumbs up to them fixing bugs.
Yes.
I just think it was one of the things that was very, very strange, and I'm just glad that they kind of went, yeah, that's a bug, and they're going to fix it.
Yeah, because Reinhardt does keep getting loads and loads of little stealth nerfs, and that's okay.
I wonder how that feels.
What, as a Reinhardt main? Not so bad, really. I still enjoy playing Ryan, and Ryan's still viable, so it's only if Ryan gets to the state where I play him in comp and everyone's like, oh god, please don't pick Ryan. Then it'll be a bit like...
That'll be a very, very sad day.
Yeah, entirely.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
right.
So Jeff, lively on the forums. Jeff has been chatting loads on the forums, as he does, which is awesome. So, first up, the report system is not forgotten. So,
yes.
You know how you can report people?
I do.
Yes. Apparently, they're trying to work on that. Although, they do say a lot of very floaty statements. First of all, they say, please keep using the report functionality. Okay, sure, I will. They're in the process of reviewing our punishment policies. What does that actually mean?
That they're looking at their punishment policies.
Yeah, and they say they want to get more aggressive on toxicity and throwing, but how do they do that?
I wonder, I mean, simple things. I mean, I imagine that they could do simple things like look at how many of them press the leave button. Like, leave button is quite clearly you're leaving the game, and then if you don't rejoin, then, like, that's quite clearly someone who's throwing a game.
Is it?
Yeah, if you're not even attempting to rejoin and you're using the leave button, then...
What if your kids just started choking on something? That's not like.
Hopefully, your kid is not choking all the time. If you're constantly playing Overwatch, if you're playing Overwatch and your kid's constantly choking, you're just like, oh, for fuck's sake, not again.
Goddamn child.
Like, you need to do something about your child. There's a different problem there.
So, okay, if there's someone who serially leaves, then they're going to get hard on that. But then here's the thing: surely their rank reflects that, so they'll just have a really low rank.
Yes, I imagine so, but I also imagine there's lots of things they can do, like trying to separate out the player pool.
Leavers queues and such, yes.
Yeah,
I like
things
that
like
concept.
I like that concept. It does concern me with people who have bad internet, but like getting matched with people who are just...
But then there's the argument that if you have bad internet,
should you
maybe
be playing?
You shouldn't be playing competitive.
No,
because
I'm kind of with you on that.
You are going to affect other people's...
enjoyment of the game.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm definitely with you on that.
Well, I'm glad they're looking at it. I hope they come up with some kind of solutions, but that kind of stuff is hard.
Yes. If it was figured out, then it would just be an all game, that like whatever the solution was, it'd be on the games and lots more people would be having fun.
Yes. Okay, next up, loot box feedback. There has been a ton of stuff about loot boxes, and Jeff has replied saying, "We acknowledge your concern."
Yeah, kind of a little bit wishy-washy. A lot of people feel that with the most recent update, there are a lot more legendaries than usual, and the dance emotes don't feel like they should be event-specific, so why would they go into that? And loads of little things like that, and they're just kind of going, but I want everything. And I kind of get that. Yeah.
Well, also, the player icons, should they be buyable?
I mean, I'd argue yes.
I'd argue yes, because I'd argue that the player icons are actually one of the most important cosmetics.
Yeah, I mean,
it follows you everywhere, no matter what character you play. That player icon is you basically trying to, express something about yourself, or not, as the case may be. But
yes, did you see that mock-up that someone did of how you could buy a player icon?
Yeah, totally. Quite well done, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very like, well, yeah, of course that's how it'd be done.
Yeah, you click on it and you just buy the damn thing.
Exactly, makes sense. Good. Has anybody tried that? Are we sure that's not already in the game? How dumb would that be?
They just did it and they were like, well, there you go. Yeah, maybe.
I doubt it, but yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to look at how loot boxes work. I think that's great. I'm not too complaining about how getting stuff works. You can generally save up your, in-game pennies to buy whatever you really, really want.
Well, I don't think either of us can judge on that.
Oh, because we play a lot more than
we play a lot more than a lot of people,
yeah,
and
maybe.
I am definitely in a stage where I can have pretty much whatever it is that I want. I don't think it's like that for other people.
Yes, you're probably right. Okay, next, matchmaking tidbits of information from Jeff.
Yes. So one of the things that I found interesting is that he confirmed, and I don't think this has been confirmed before, but the quick play and the competitive
they have
separate
MMRs.
Internal matchmaking ratings. Yes.
And that makes sense because they are very, very different games.
Absolutely. Like, I will play stuff in quick play that I wouldn't play in ranked mode. And that's probably why playing Genji in quick play is a lot easier for me.
Also because there's no consistent heals around. So picking off people is a lot different. And
loads of little things like that. So makes a lot of sense. I just think it's worth acknowledging that those systems are different and that whatever you do in quick play is not going to affect your ranked rating.
I mean, I kind of thought that anyway. It's nothing new, but I think it's nice to have it confirmed.
Absolutely. What else is there?
Oh, the thing that they make high-skill players wait much longer in competitive than they do in quick play.
Yes,
So
another
the idea
thing
of
that kind
competitive,
of...
they really want to match people with their level. But in quick play, they're a bit more like, well, it's quick play, it's just one match. Do you know what? Maybe it'll be a little unbalanced with this super high-level player in it, but let's just get the game going, yeah?
Absolutely. Also, I think that if you're super high level, you're much more likely to playing quick play to off-class and practice stuff that you're not good at. So you're very likely to be playing something that is very suboptimal for you.
And here's the thing you have to remember about quick play. If you're in a quick play game against an opponent who is so good you don't stand a chance, there is zero penalty for you to just walk out the door and start a new quick play game.
Well, unless you do it a lot.
Is there a penalty if you do it loads?
There is, yeah. Eventually it will start...
Even in quick play? I didn't even know.
It will say you will be placed into a low priority queue.
Okay.
I know because I hit it after someone who shall not be named said, "Oh, I'll play with you." I left the game, and then they were like, "Oh, no, I'll be a few minutes." Go back into a game. A few minutes later, I decide, halfway through the game, I decide, you know what, I really need to go to the toilet. Went to the toilet, came back, I've been disconnected because...
Inactivity.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
They come back, and I just had a few games in a row where I ended up leaving in the middle of them, and eventually it said, if you keep doing this, it's not going to be good for you. There will be consequences. I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh
sorry, Blizzard.
Oh dear. I do apologise.
Yeah, I'll play 5 games in a row. I promise. I swear to goodness. I'll buy loot boxes. I don't care. Love me, please.
I didn't even know they did that for quick play.
No, I had no idea. And
I'm going to have to start taking it super serious.
Absolutely. We need a healer. I'm still laughing about that game.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Competitive 3v3.
Yes. They're not ruling it out.
No.
I don't think they're going to be prioritising it, though.
I doubt it. However, I do remember how intense 1v1 Quake could get.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things of I can imagine like as a little side tournament, at the big tournaments, having like 1v1 matches as a little side thing.
Here's what I'll say. I don't see any disadvantage really to running an extra 3v3 ranked thing like they run the regular ranked thing, right? I mean, is it going to be splitting the player base? Probably not that much.
No, not really. I think the 3v3 people will be kind of very niche. But I really like the changes they've made, and it does seem to have made a real quality of life difference.
Yes,
in
you
3v3.
Can't just stack the same characters again and again.
Absolutely.
Kind of makes it a bit more, yeah.
Yep.
And lastly, this is a little thing that's happened in the PTR. They have removed the rate this match thing at the top of the screen.
Yep.
And, okay, so it's not that big. We might not mention it, but I really liked Jeff's reasons for removing this. Because basically it comes down to the only information they were actually getting from this was that new players use the feature more than others, and players enjoy what matches they win and do not enjoy matches they lose.
That is true. However, I've started using this feature again recently.
Right.
Because I don't know what's happened, but in quick play, there has just been an absolute explosion of Junkrat, Symmetra, Torbjorn. And often all 3 in the same game. And it's one of those things, if I got into the stage where I was just like, you know what? There is one form of influence that I can have on this, and that is hitting that did not enjoy button. Even if we win. Even if we were in.
Do you think that it does influence anything?
It was the only form of influence I could think of having. Maybe
they have this weird statistical blip of Genji mains saying they don't like playing against Symmetra, Torb, Junkrats.
Maybe. I don't know. It was the only way that I could think of to influence it, and now that's gone. And now I'm just going to feel useless and dejected.
I'm going to throw it out there that for about the same amount of result, you could probably have a little tick box on a piece of paper.
Yeah, but no. It won't have the same result because on the one hand, the tick on the piece of paper will stay on my desk doing nothing. At least I can feel like my tick box on the server went to Blizzard. It went somewhere, damn it.
No, right. Here's the thing. You could screw up that piece of paper and huss out your window, and there is a possibility that it'll make its way to Jeff's desk.
I feel like the possibility is still significantly lower.
Is it, though? In practical terms?
Maybe. No,
maybe.
because it is a Blizzard system. It has a way higher chance. I will say that.
Yeah, true. It's sitting on a server somewhere, residing that information. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, they removed it. I do agree with his reasoning.
Yes.
I'd love to see them take another look at it and see if they can find something better, but I don't know what they can do.
What do you expect as a result from that? If they see that Hanzo mains aren't enjoying matches against Symmetra, Torb and Junkrat, what do you want them to do?
Well, I don't know. I think it's one of those things where you could
not queue you against Symmetra, Torb and Junkrat players.
I'll tell you what. So one of the things that changed very early in the game was when we had this option to rate players that we did. So say
avoid certain players. Yeah.
And what they were able to take from that was playing against Widowmaker was not fun.
Playing against certain really good Widowmakers was not fun.
Absolutely. But it had an influence on the game. And I think that having that ability to look at like large stat pools and say, oh, lots of people are saying that when this particular composition comes up over and over again, we can see that particular composition is unfun for players to play against, and that's something that we should look at.
Is it only unfun for Genji mains, though?
Are you saying that my opinion as a Genji main does not matter?
No, but like, I doubt, like, the Blizzard's whole thing is you change character, right?
Okay.
So,
but but it's still contributing to the stats, right? Like, it doesn't matter, like, because if it's a small amount, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference to Blizzard, right? But if a significant portion of people outside of that are beginning to notice a difference, then it does make a difference.
I guess like, if enough people aren't enjoying it.
I mean, that's the entire idea. It's not that just Genji mains can report the composition they don't like, but if people start finding certain compositions to be unfun, they've got a way of saying so, which is
something to
with a very low friction.
I see that. Okay, yeah. Well, again, enough talking about Overwatch. Do you want to play some Overwatch?
I'm so up for that.
Let's do that thing.
Absolutely.
Placement matches happening this week.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
Yeah,
cool.
Totally.
I've been Grey.
I've been Ruskeydoo.
And we'll see you next week.
Toodle pip.